Hello, Ran55 here, and thanks for tuning in. Today's session 10 on Trainz 2019. We're back on the Tidewater route, and today we're going to be watching Jane, who works for the Tidewater Railroad, operate a GP38-2. She'll be switching the coal docks down at the Tidewater Wharf, so let's follow along. You can see I've done some major surgery on the route. I've taken a big chunk of the yard out on both the north and south end of the Tidewater yard. The yard was just way too big. It took a long time to run around trains, and it had a lot more space on the yards that I'll never be able to use. So I probably took about, 20% of the north yard away, and maybe about a similar amount on the south yard. We'll see how that goes. If I have to modify it again, I'll certainly do that. In fact, on the northern part of the yard here, I actually redid that probably 3 or 4 times. At first, I took too much away and then had to readjust it a couple times, and I think I found a good balance. We'll just see how the flow goes. I also have to make some modifications up at River Point. I did some switching up there of the intermodal yard, which I'll do a video on later, and the yard leads were just all wrong. They were way too long and very inefficient. And I've said before that there's a double slip switch up there that I absolutely cannot stand because it's difficult to tell whether you've got it set right or not. So here's to look out the train, long hood forward, which gives you really, really poor visibility. That's why engineers don't like driving their trains backwards. So now Jane's come to the end of the main line here where it branches off to the left there and goes onto the yard lead that leads down to the Tidewater port area. And I have gone through and set a lot of speed limits for the different portions of this route, and it seems like depending on where the train starts, they either see it or they don't. So I think I'm going to take all those away. I know what speeds I want to do and where, so I think I'll just wing it and not have absolute speed limits posted. It's another beautiful day here in Tidewater, as it is here in Michigan. We're finally getting spring weather. Weather's going to be up into the 80s or close to the 80s here in the next couple days. Beautiful sunny days, warm winds. Time to get the motorcycle out. So here's Jane as she approaches the new industry off to the right there that I made. And off to the left is where the full loaded coal hoppers are kept, waiting their turn to be unloaded over at the port. So she slows down to about 10 miles an hour through this area. It's pretty tight fit between the building and the railroad cars. Pretty dangerous area, actually. And she puts that very irritating bell on. There's a couple little roads that service these industries off to the right. And I'm not going to go through the long, prolonged, blowing the horn kind of deal. I'm just going to toot the horn to let people know that if they're crossing, hey, we're coming. And I think that's fairly prototypical. I see a lot of trains in the area where I live. When they cross a major road, yeah, they'll do the too long, short, and long. But if they're just kind of moving back and forth and crossing the service, they'll just give a toot to let everybody know, hey, we're here, be careful, keep your eyes and ears open. So she's coming around the bend here. You can see the big old coal piles there. And that steam shovel is loading up that bulk carrier. The bulk carrier, when you set it down low in the water, the holds are actually full of water, which is kind of irritating. I wish you didn't do that. I'll have to find some coal mats or something like that to put down there to hide that. So anyways, here she is slowing down to a nice comfortable speed to latch onto these hoppers that have already been unloaded. Drag these empties away, and we'll pick up another cut of loaded hoppers from that siding. I wish these shovels there on the right, the steam shovels, were animated. That'd be kind of cool. So we can fit, I think, about 6 loaded hoppers on that emptying track there. So she's going to drive back up here and grab 6 more, push them back, and the work will continue with their unloading. Right now it's about a little bit before 3 in the afternoon here in Tidewater, and I had in my mind envisioned how long it would take and what time the trains, to service these ports and have the trains come in, and the trains would arrive at certain times. But I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule. I think there's at least one more mixed train, a CSX train, that's due into Tidewater later today, and there might be another train after that. I can't remember, but as I said, this whole process is a work in motion. We'll sort it out as we go along. We'll find out what works and what doesn't work, how many trains we need to have, how full the industries get, how full the yards get, and we'll just kind of massage it as we move forward. Again, using the rail driver to operate the train. It really is very immersive when you're using that, and it's a lot more, as I've said before, a lot more to keep track of and make sure you're doing things right. So she's cleared that switch. Now she'll back up and grab another cut of full hoppers. So how's everybody doing today? Everybody doing all right? I watched a video on YouTube today by a gentleman who lives in Florida. His YouTube channel is called Distant Signal. The guy does some rail fanning and chases trains all around Florida, and he's actually travels up to the southeast as well. He posted a video recently, really the one I watched earlier today. Went up into Ohio, which is not too far from where I live in Michigan. And he produces some really great videos. He's got a lot of information, background on the trains, where they're coming from, where they're going to. I don't know where he gets all his information, but he is an excellent source of information for railroading. And if you guys get a chance, look him up. It's called Distant Signal. So Jane is latched on to those full hoppers on the siding there. She'll now pull forward before she makes the cut. That way she won't have to back up quite so far when she comes back next time to grab the next load of loaded hoppers. But she'll cut loose 6 more here. And I believe we'll be able to finish this string of loaded hoppers on the next time we switch. I was using the independent brake, which is just the locomotive's brakes, to try to stop this train, but even though it's a relatively short train, it still has a lot of weight and a lot of momentum, and it took longer than I expected to stop. We still had clearance there between the siding and the main spur heading back toward the downtown area there at Tidewater, but it's closer than I would like to have left it. So now she's taking the 6 cars, and she'll back those down up to the unloading area. This is going to be another quick video today. It's about a little over 20 minutes long. My original intent was to do all the switching here at Tidewater, up at the grain mills, and also up at River Point. But that actually took about an hour and 45 minutes to do all that work. You know, a lot of it would be edited out, but I figured it would be a lot more tolerable to just cut it up into smaller sections. So today we're going to look at Jane switching the coal. Next time we'll be operating up at the Tidewater mills. We'll see the operations up there, and then we'll do the 3rd video in the switching series, operating up at River Point. So those were all filmed today, playing the game, but it just took a lot longer than I anticipated. I don't want to make a video that long. Here you can see the tight quarters between the buildings and the sidings. We have some ladies that probably are taking their lunch break. They're out having some little conversation out in the sunshine, waving to their friends either on the train or across the way. Their break will be over pretty soon. They'll be back to work. Again, just giving a little warning toot there to say, hey, the train's coming. Anybody who's using those little roadways, keep your eyes and ears open. You also see that I found some Norfolk Southern hoppers that I like. So I replaced those. I took out the CSX ones before because they came in on a Norfolk Southern train. I also found some more Norfolk Southern gondolas and boxcars that I like too. So like I said, this whole thing is a work in progress. So now Jane has slowed down to about 5-6 miles an hour as she's backing into the unloading grate there. Again, there's no grate present, it's just track. And I kind of covered it up with some coal texture. I know there are some grates. I haven't been able to find one yet. I was watching a video by Microchip, another guy who has a YouTube channel. It's very entertaining to watch. He's making quite a few videos, almost one a day or more maybe, of trains, and he also does Farm Simulator. Great guy, really enthusiastic, loves what he does. But anyways, I was watching one of his videos earlier today, and he did have some grates down where they're unloading the ash from the steam engines. And I got to figure out which asset that is, so maybe I can incorporate them into this track right here. Again, it's all aesthetics. It really doesn't make any difference. So Jane pushed that car all the way back to the end of those brick walls there. We could have actually stopped it a little bit more, and it looks like we might even be able to squeeze an extra car in there, maybe get 7 cars in at a time to unload. So anyway, she's unhooked the empties, and now she just take those back up to the southern part of the Tidewater yard, and she will be done with her day. Yeah, the next mixed train that comes in will be having a lot of, and you know, there might be one from Norfolk Southern now that I'm thinking about it. But anyways, all these industries down here at the wharf, except for the coal dock, are empty. So that's one of the things that they need to do when they bring that mixed freight in. They'll be bringing some railroad cars to be serving this area here. So Jane will be back in service down here before too long. Hope you guys don't mind, but I'm going to nix the bell. Kind of gets a little bit irritating after a while. So now she's cleared that tight area, and she's going to throttle up. We'll allow her to do about 25 miles an hour on this long lead, going back up to the main line. There's no buildings or traffic out here, so I think 25 is a reasonable speed. Obviously, the reason this lead is so long is the elevation difference between the Tidewater yard and the port area. It's amazing how little of a grade is needed to really make these trains struggle. So she'll go past this switch here, out onto that yard lead, stop her engine. Conductor will throw the switch, and she'll take these empties over to the yard and connect them up to the other empties that are already waiting there for her. These empties will go out on tomorrow's coal train, and this process will start all over again tomorrow. I've been using my Logitech headset and microphone to make these videos, and I have a really nice microphone upstairs, but I haven't been able to get it work efficiently. There's been some issues with it, so I don't think the sound quality has been really good using the microphone I'm using now, but make an effort to get that other microphone up and running. So here's a drone view of Jane heading back to the yard. You can see how the Tidewater yard is split in two, with the left side being the northern yard and the right side being the southern yard. I'm really happy with these Norfolk Southern hoppers here. They worked out really well and they look good. So right where they are now, that used to be all yard, where that landscaping is off to the right. That was yard all the way back to there, and I just didn't need that much space. So I reconfigured it, and we'll see how it works. Didn't take quite so much yard away on this side as much as I did on the other side, on the northern part. Well, as Jane backs these empty hoppers up, this is going to end our day, or our video here on Tidewater. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Leave some comments. I always like to hear from you guys, what you think about the videos, things I can do better. Leave a like, subscribe if you'd like. I'm trying to produce a fair number of videos, but time is the big essence in my life. And as long as I've got the time, I'll keep cranking these out. The other thing is I also like to play other games too that I'm not going to make videos of. I just don't think there's going to be that much interest in it. I'll do it for myself, but right now I'm going to concentrate on making the videos for Trainz. So anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll end this video eventually by looking at a drone's eye view of Tidewater Yard. See you guys next time.